It's so crazy too, Adrian, because I think that you would really like his show. I think that you would enjoy it. I think you'd be really interested in it.
Well,
Erica, I'm all about different cultures and trying new foods, and I'd probably dig it because I am.
Listen, you're not like Chad. You like international films.
Yes, and international food.
I can't believe I'm the one saying this, but we gotta lay off Chad when he's not here.
Turn it up, we're live right now. Locked in, can't stop this sound. Big wave, ride that energy. Welcome to the show. This is where you wanna be.
Welcome to Seeing This, the weekly movie podcast where we bring you the latest movie reviews, celebrate our favorite movie anniversaries, compete in competitive movie drafts, and much, much more. I'm the movie Mike Ornelas, and end of the day, it's like Tupac said, God bless the dead. Joining me on the podcast is the feisty Pisces, Erica McMullen.
Lots of reservations, but maybe not the good kind.
And also on the podcast is the Gerber baby-faced assassin, Adrian Cedeno.
I wonder if douchey people of color get the same opportunities as douchey white people.
And that's all in reference to Tony, the Anthony Bourdain biopic, Matt Johnson's latest film. Are you guys familiar with Matt Johnson? His other work, Blackberry, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, or just me? No. I enjoyed those films. This one we'll get to shortly. But today we are recording on 8/24, so happy Kobe Bryant Day to those that celebrate. And again, God bless the dead. God bless the dead. Before we get to Tony, really quickly, some exciting stuff. Some great episodes have been taking place here at Seeing This. Last Tuesday, we covered teenage sex and death at Camp Maisma. Chad joined us on that one, tried to give us his best O face. Did he win? Did he win the trophy? Tune in to find out. But we had a fun conversation around a surreal new take.
I hate that you brought that up again.
That's what I'm here for. It was a fun conversation around a surreal new take on the slasher genre, a film by Jane Schoenbrunn. So definitely check that out from last Tuesday. And then this last Friday, I spoke with an incredibly talented filmmaker out of Brazil, Eduardo Machado, who's the filmmaker of a short film called Sao Paulo, New York. It's an incredible short film about a Brazilian musician trying to navigate the international student dynamic while attending school in New York. And it is about the evolution of purpose between his home in Brazil and his school life in the States. Wonderful film, wonderful conversation. We got to talk all things Brazil, from music to food to culture to the sense of belonging. So definitely check out that conversation and then check out the short film, Sao Paulo, New York. This Friday, I am speaking with two incredible people, director Dana Nachman and an extraordinary man named Freddie Knowles, about their short film, The Second Life of Freddie Knowles, which is a documentary short that looks at a program Freddie and his wife created to help inmates released from prison that have nowhere else to turn take those first steps in civilian life. He has quite an interesting story, an inspiring story. I've talked to amazing people while doing these interviews, and I think this is one of the best back-to-back interviews that I've gotten to do. So definitely check out the Eduardo Machado interview, and then Dana Nachman and Freddie Knowles doing incredible work. Definitely recommend checking that out. And then next Tuesday, we're all back together, and we are discussing something very loony. Coyote versus Acme, the once shelved feature that blends live action and animation, starring at Will Forte. Should raise some fun talking points, to say the least. Were you guys Looney Tune kids, Nickelodeon kids? What were we?
Yeah, those two probably. I wasn't a Disney kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not until like high school years. I
had to pay for that channel.
For which one?
For the Disney Channel. You had to. That was like added extra that you had to pay on your TV.
We had it on cable, didn't we? And maybe it was like a premiere cable, like it wasn't the basic cable, is what you're saying. Gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. Favorite Looney Tunes character?
Bugs, dude. I mean,
Bugs?
He's just so funny.
That's a hard one because there's so many good ones.
You
gotta have Wile E. Coyote in there.
Yeah.
You gotta have good old Speedy Gonzalez in there.
Sure. I thought Erica, you'd go for like a Pepe, even though he'd probably be Pepe Le
I
Pew,
do
even though
really
he'd be
like Pepe Le
canceled.
Pew. I love
He'd be
that he
canceled
loved
nowadays.
love.
Sure.
But
Maybe a little.
Bugs was just so funny. Like he's still to this
Sure.
day. Like even in the because I watched the trailer. I couldn't help myself.
Oh, you gave in
At the end of
Okay.
the trailer, like they do like a.
Oh, don't want to hear it. La 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 la
la.
la la la.
Anyway, they do a backlight of Bugs Bunny's silhouette. He does. I don't know if he
Sure.
says anything at the end, but everybody was like, "Ah, Bugs!"
Sure.
I still regularly play the Looney Tunes basketball on Super Nintendo.
That's a
Nice.
great game.
Yeah,
That's a
so
great
fun.
game. Yeah.
Marvin the Martian, like you can't leave
That's
him
a
out.
good one too. I did like Marvin the Martian.
I was a foghorn leghorn guy myself. Shout out to my dad. He'd always talk to that boy. I said, boy, get over here. Like he holds a warm place in my heart. But we'll talk much more in depth about Looney Tunes and Coyote versus Acme come Tuesday. So what have we seen this week? Let's go over to Erica for what you have seen this week. Tell us.
Well, I had finished the Terminator, so I went into the Matrix because I wanted to try to make the connection and kind of see where it ended up. And I mean, she explains it way better than I could maybe understand how they wanted to connect those two movies.
Well, it's like doom scrolling for film. I mean, it's like here we are in the post-apocalyptic future we're living in.
Yeah. So. And it's just like so crazy too because just thinking of, because I didn't see it when it came out, so like thinking of people seeing those movies for the first time when they came out, like it was like right around Y2K, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, The Matrix, the first one came out in '99, so it was
so like right before, and people were like, psyching themselves out about all of that.
Yeah.
So I could imagine like how crazy visually like this movie would have been back then.
You watched just the first one, or you did like all of them?
I watched the second one. I forgot to mention I watched the first Matrix last week. So this week I watched The Matrix Reloaded. And then I also watched the other guys because that just kills me.
Sure.
I can't do that movie. A lot of people sleep on that movie, and I quote it a lot more than I thought I did. So
that's where Will Ferrell is married to Eva Mendes, right?
Yeah.
That's the other guys.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a good
Mark
bit.
Wahlberg is like, what?
He's like, no, really, why are all of these hot women into you?
No, really. Yeah. I can relate. Anyways, well, thank you, Erica. Adrian, please tell us, what have you seen this week?
I saw a few throwbacks that I went on a big comedy kick this week. Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
So good.
Okay.
So good. It still smacks. It still slaps. It's still so funny. So on point. The whole
my vitamins.
Yeah. Jack Black was so good. Like on point with being a heroin addict, like relapsing and fiending for it. It was so funny.
I feel like the previews part is something that's often forgotten about Tropic Thunder because it's so many other things, specifically around race. But I remember seeing that in the theater, and these previews come on, and you're like, booty sweat.
What's the one with Robert Downey and Tobey Maguire? What's the previous one? That one cracked, and I'm like,
Satan's Alley.
Yeah. It's great. That's a classic. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I after watching that, I had a Ben Stiller, rabbit hole, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go watch Heavyweights, and I showed it to Aliha. Like we were bored, and I was like, I'm gonna put this movie on. And she sat and watched the whole thing with me, and she was laughing.
She was laughing? Oh, good.
Yeah, she was into it. At first, she was like, wait, what is this? And then, like as she started catching on, like, fat camp, like what is that? And I'm like, this is camps that you would go to instead of a science camp, instead of a spelling camp, you went to a fat camp to try to lose weight.
Camp Hope, baby. Camp Hope.
So that was a good time. That one still slaps. And then last but not least, I went and saw Gary Owen, No Hard Feelings. I found his stand-up comedy.
Oh, okay.
And Oh, it's so funny. He does it right. He's a funny guy. Um, and it hits all the. I mean, some people didn't like. I guess he touches on some uh sensitive areas that he likes to poke fun
Like
at.
what?
Uh, it a deaf girl. Like he dated a deaf
Mm,
girl once, and he's talking about that, and then making it funny. And I thought it was funny, but I know some people probably take offense to it.
sure.
Um, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
comedy for sure.
I mean, that's the beauty of comedy is there's so many different types of comedians and the different styles that if you don't like something, you don't have to listen to them. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it's
Don't go to the
everything
show.
can everything can be funny, yeah. Anyways, awesome. Well, I've been busy on my end sticking to the Holly Shorts Film Festival. I mentioned it last episode. I've been watching a lot of short films out of that festival, covering it remotely, and want to highlight a couple that stood out. The first one is a short film called Phantom Carousel, and pretty much the premise here is companies are hiring individuals, think of like a private investigator, to investigate remote workers, like in person, to see what they're doing with their productivity, what hours they're with their binoculars. Oh, they clock out early at this time. What are they doing? And it's really interesting premise. I did end up enjoying the film. There's some editing choices that like kind of bothered me, like took me out of it really quick. But the premise is great and the ending is great without giving too much away. So, Phantom Carousel, very cool idea. We're not too far from this being done by like AI, realistically. I mean, it is happening in certain areas. I worked for a tech
Cameras are always
company.
on, man.
Well, not just that. I've worked for tech companies where like they check that your mouse is being clicked, and there's certain apps you can get that make your your mouse click, like it's just wild. It's just wild. So nonetheless, Phantom Carousel, that was an interesting one. And then one that was really interesting that I'm actually going to get to talk to the filmmaker here, either before or after TIFF starts, because that's around the corner as well. It's called the Intimacy Coordinator. So if you know, intimacy coordinators are on set much more frequently now than maybe when we grew up. And anytime there's a sex scene or any kind of intimate scene, they are there to kind of counsel and coordinate and be the main point of contact for these actors. The film itself, and it says this in the description, so I don't think it's a spoiler. What if an intimacy coordinator had a sex addiction? And that's pretty much the film. And things kind of unravel, things happen, whatever. I had a lot of various feelings about it, so I'm very interested to talk to the filmmaker when I have that opportunity. And it's one that will stick with me just because the premise is interesting, but it's also interesting because the intimacy coordinator is kind of a newer thing. So it's like, are you making a statement about intimacy coordinators? Like why this, like you could have gone a lot of different angles with this, why this? So it'll be a great conversation. I'll keep everyone updated once I get to do that. And the Holly Shorts Film Festival has been great. I've gotten to talk to a lot of cool people, a lot of great films. Can't recommend short films enough. And then just really quick, I also did some rewatches. I'll run through these really quick. I did the Odyssey for the third time here in Portland. I went to the OMSI, and it's essentially the biggest screen out there. Went to watch it, and it's amazing. The more you watch it, the more you connect the names within the dialogue. So it makes a lot more sense of like who's being referred to who, things of this nature. It's great. It's gonna crush at the Oscars. I watched. Speaking of comedies, Adrian, I watched The Cable Guy. Um, like my number one comedy is Dumb and Dumber, and then Cable Guy is like right there. I probably quote both of those movies so much. Had such a good time with The Cable Guy. Jack Black, speaking of which, I think this was his first role in The Cable Guy, if I'm not
Cable
mistaken.
guy.
I just want to hang out. No big deal. It's just all
The
too good.
password is
It's that thing. Just skin Steven. Okay, sorry. Anyways, and the and then lastly, I watched Speed. Speed was a classic action. Shout out to the rewatchables, The Ringer. They don't need a shout out because they have so many people fucking tuning into them, and we're just small mom and pop podcast trying to come up, but nonetheless, they did Speed recently, and it got me in the nostalgic mood. Some classic Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Still holds up, like action the whole way through. So it's good. Pop quiz hot shot. Let's get into Tony, our main movie for this week.
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
I know, I've seen this. I know this.
As always, Adrian, tell us, what does Letterboxd say about Tony?
I was, to be frank, a spoiled, miserable, narcissistic, self-destructive, and thoughtless young lout, and badly in need of a good ass kicking. A 19-year-old Anthony Bourdain travels to Provincetown and stumbles into the chaotic world of a restaurant kitchen, setting off a summer that will shape the course of his life.
As mentioned, directed by Matt Johnson, cast Dominic Sessa, Antonio Banderas, and Emilia Jones. Just to start things off, we'll go around. Erica, what was your relationship with Tony Bourdain? How well did you know him? How had you read his book, his shows? What's your relationship?
You know, I hadn't read his book. I want to say maybe that's one of the good things that came out of this movie is that it does make me want to go read the book. I loved Anthony Bourdain. I remember where I was when I found out about his passing. I connected with a lot of people over his shows and over his thoughts, over his feelings, over the way he connected with so many human beings across the world. It was just kind of such a joy to see somebody who can take that later end of his life and just be fulfilled, you know, with food and new friends. I miss him. I miss his presence. I don't know how I still don't know how I feel about this movie being made in the first place. It feels like a movie that could have been made without it being about Anthony Bourdain. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean, we'll circle back onto your deeper thoughts on the movie, but just with Tony itself, you like, I love the way you put that you had conversation, like it was a conversation builder with people.
Oh, yeah, always. And like, this was one where, you know, I would be staying the night or the weekend with like some friends on my way up to, like, I'd be driving all of California. That would be my pit stop in Sacramento. But it would be like, you know, we'd have dinner together, have a good conversation, and we'd throw on some Anthony Bourdain because, like you said, it was a conversation starter. It was, like I said, so genuine to watch him just love food from across the world and then learn to love the people that were behind it.
Yeah. Anthony Bourdain was a bit of an unknown to you, Agent. Is that fair to say, or what was your relationship?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. I knew, I heard the name. I thought he was a food critic. So like that's all I kind of thought of. And then I saw, like, you know, I've seen commercials on Nat Geo or something where he would, you know, go out and do strange foods in strange areas, and you know, but beyond that, I never watched a show. I never seen him in an episode. So I didn't know anything about him. I was just watching this movie kind of blind.
I love that we're all going to come from a different perspective with this film and our relationship with Tony. I, like Erica, was a big fan of Anthony Bourdain, and quite honestly, like, I saw him as a hero. You know, I've done the sacred screens and stages for seeing this, and it's heavily inspired by Anthony Bourdain and others, but very much by his curiosity, his interest in meeting people, learning more about the spaces around him, the people. And, you know, I was someone that had seen probably every No Reservations episode that's come out. Parts unknown, I haven't seen all of them. I have seen some. I want to catch up on that. I know he also had like the layover, right, where he like kind of says, if you're in a if you're in a place for X amount of time, here's what you do in this place, right? So I definitely miss Tony, and like you were alluding to, Erica, this movie could have been about anyone. But dive in a little more. What did you think of the movie as a whole? And
This is where I want to pause because overall, the acting and the performances, I thought they did a great job. Like I had no pun intended, but I had no reservations about how they were acting. Like I thought it was great, but this almost seems like a part of Anthony Bourdain that we were only supposed to hear from his book, from his words. Even though I know that the director, took, I believe it's one of the stories or two of the stories in his book. I think they might be a little bit separate or right after another, but took the ideas from the book and put it in this. But I loved all of the tones. I loved all of the things that it addressed. But like I said, this didn't need to be a movie about Anthony Bourdain. This just could have been a really good movie about some chefs, because I don't think Anthony Bourdain is the only one who would ever go through a scenario like this. And I think he knew that. I think that that's why he referred to himself as like a little piece of shit who needed to get his ass beat, because he wasn't the only one who was doing stuff like that.
sure.
And so he could kind of categorize himself as a little narcissistic piece of shit who needed to get his ass beat. You know what I mean? So like I said, I don't think this needed to be about Anthony Bourdain, but I don't think that the performances should go unnoticed because I thought they did pretty well.
Adrian, what'd you think?
I feel similar to Marty Supreme, like douchey people doing douchey things. I think for that Marty Supreme, I said shitty people doing shitty things. Um, I had a hard time getting past the white privilege. Like the entire time I'm sitting there like a brother wouldn't have got that same opportunity. Like Antonio Banderas' character wouldn't have had that same opportunity if he was treating people like that. Um, so I had a hard time. And again, maybe that's because I didn't know Anthony Bourdain as a person. I didn't see what happened later in his life. I just see like that was he was a
Mm,
jerk. Like why
mm,
would anybody give him this opportunity? Why would he get to go to the, most prestigious culinary school around after lying and cheating and being a douchebag? Like, I just
yeah,
don't get it.
yeah,
And you're asking, Adrian, the same questions that Anthony Bourdain essentially asked himself later in life.
right.
Why did he get this opportunity? But that's kind of like what his later works of No Reservations and his movie shows, all that stuff like that. That's what it was about, is for him, like that reflection that he was able to go through to like notice how like terrible, but how like necessary it was for his character to be what it was when he grew older. But that's also why I think this movie shouldn't have been made about
Yeah,
him, you know.
yeah. I will bring in my guests without wasting too much time because I think there is a lot for us to talk about. Uh, so I have a guest today, and he's one of my favorite people from one of my favorite movies, from one of my favorite directors, and one of my favorite scenes. And that is Jack Torrance from The Shining. And in this clip, I'm Jack Nicholson or Jack Torrance, and why am I forgetting her name? Uh,
Shelley
Olive
Duvall's
oil.
character?
I'm sorry.
Shelley Duvall's
Olive oil.
character?
Oh, yeah, olive oil. But
Oh,
what's her name in The Shining?
um,
Pop quiz hot shot. Wendy Torrance. Yes, Wendy, of course. So in the scene, Wendy represents Matt Johnson, the writer director, and I'll go into it a little bit more once we show the scene. So nonetheless, Jack Torrance from The Shining with Wendy Torrance and my feelings about Tony.
I'm very confused. I just need a chance to think things over.
You've had your whole fucking life to think things over. What good's a few minutes more gonna do you now?
Please, don't hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Stay away from me.
Wendy,
Stay away.
Darling, light of my life, I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in.
So those are my feelings around Matt Johnson and Tony. Listen, I felt the same exact way as you, Erica. I was like, this movie could have been about anyone. I didn't find anything in connection to Anthony Bourdain and Dominic Sessa's portrayal. With that being said, Sessa did a great job. It's not a knock on him. Like, he did great acting work. But Tony, as much of an asshole, as much of a narcissist, of all these things, he still had charisma. Like, he still knew how to talk in a certain way that caught everyone's attention. And I felt none of that from here. Granted, it's younger in his life. Granted, this is young Tony. He has lessons to learn. But I think as individuals, as you get older, there's still certain core aspects of your life that stay true throughout your life. You just learn how to shape them. You're wiser about your decisions, things of this nature. And I've captured none of that from here. And I remember watching the film and feeling like, I wonder how Tony would feel about this portrayal of him, because they center, and again, this isn't really a spoiler, but they center the story around him and a girl who apparently went on to be his first wife. But I don't like that that's kind of the driving force of this, even if that is how things went, which I highly doubt it was to this degree. Like, it just made it feel.
Read the book. I'll let you know.
Please do. But it just made it feel like any other like biopic, like any other, like this run of the mill story, except it's about a chef, And I've listened to Matt Johnson do interviews about this film since. I really did like his two films prior that I mentioned, but as he spoke about this movie, it really made me dislike it more. And him as a director for this. He was like Adrian coming into the story. Like, he didn't really have any relationship with Anthony Bourdain before making the movie. He didn't want to make the movie. He thought Anthony Bourdain and Gordon Ramsay were like the same tier. And it's like they couldn't be farther from the same as far as who they are as people, as far as who they are as chefs.
Me.
Right.
That bothers me.
Right. And
because Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, I have
those people.
I mean, it's just so different. They're so night and day.
So
it's like they're both chefs. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they have in common.
Yeah. He also mentioned, the question kind of came up about like how a little bit of him is in all these films or characters that he makes. And he said, like, when he finally decided to make this movie, it's because he's like, oh, I can kind of tell my story after talking to Dominic Sessa, and we can tell our story through Tony's story by picking the parts that kind of applied to us. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he did, is say, we have this Trojan horse of a Tony biopic that we can tell our blended story through. And you can tell, like, it's just not Tony Bourdain's story. With all that said, that's why I picked Jack Torrance. Like, hey, Matt Johnson, I'm not going to hurt you. But the movie itself, perfectly fine. The acting was great. By the end of it, I was more interested in Antonio Banderas' character story. Like, he seemed like an interesting guy. I want to know about him.
Talk about a man that ages like fine wine. Dear God.
I mean, from Desperado to this, he's still, yeah. So yeah, I just had a hard time with the whole
Desperado, and all I could think of was Puss in Boots.
I mean, yeah, he's got a great voice too. Careful, Erica. You're treading dangerous water mentioning Puss in Boots.
We've already lost that square like ages ago.
Well, but we got a streak. I don't have the board. Damn, I didn't bring the board up, but we do have the board here. Anyways, let's move forward. The movie is completely fine. The performances are great. If this was just not tied to Tony Bourdain, I'd probably appreciate it more, but you're trying.
Yeah, like I said, it still would have been a great film. And I think even too, with how successful The Bear has been, I think people would be interested in coming to this film about chefs. Like, I think it.
Yeah, sure.
it would have
Sure.
hit.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think. Sorry, Anthony Bourdain. I don't think he'd like this or appreciate it.
No.
Like I said, I
No.
think it's a
I
story
agree.
you read in the book that he wrote about himself, and you don't. And like hearing how the director felt about it, like that's even more frustrating because you could have left it alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into Commodus. Commodus Scale. Up, even, or down? Erica, you kick us off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go even. Like I said, people are going to enjoy this film. I think I've seen kind of collectively. There's some people who are like, "Yeah, I love it. It's so good." It's not a bad movie. Like, it's not a bad film. You're gonna be really you're not impressed by the performances, but you're gonna like them. I really liked the banter between a lot of a lot of the actors. I thought they had very good chemistry together.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to enjoy it. Did I enjoy it as a film? Sure. Yeah, whatever. As a story about Anthony Bourdain, no, not really. So,
Adrian, up, even, or down? What are you giving Tony?
I'm gonna go even. If like you guys had said, it was great acting. It was a fine movie. It's just for me, it's still just crappy person doing crappy stuff. Like I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me. I'm into chef movies. I'm into like that whole scene. But this movie just doesn't do it for me. But not that it's a bad movie. I don't, I don't care for it. But I would go even for sure.
We're unanimous in that regard. I'd go even. There's nothing like mind blowing about it. It's kind of run of the mill, but again, I think the performances are strong. If it had nothing to do with Anthony Bourdain, and another actor that I want to shout out was, I mean, there's a couple great performances, but Leo Woodall, who plays Sal, who's kind of like the influence over Tony in the dark side of things. You have Stravos Halkis, who's a comedian. I think he was
He's
like,
funny.
he was incredibly like organic. Like he felt right at home in this role. I thought was great.
Have you guys seen his show? Well, not his show, but the show that he's in, Tires.
I love him.
Tires is a funny show.
He's so funny. I enjoy him a lot.
Yeah.
I've only seen him on like podcast interviews. I was like, yes, but he's fun. Like I enjoy him as well. And I thought he did great here, but end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's a fine film. It's a fine film. And I think because I saw Anthony Bourdain as a hero of mine, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Anytime you do a biopic, I mean, that's going to be the case if they ever do Robin Williams. That's going to be the case if they ever do Pink Floyd.
Him, Heath Ledger. There's like a list of people that you just
leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Yeah. Well, let's go on the spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
There's not too much you can necessarily spoil. It's not really a spoiler movie per se, but just so we could talk a little bit more freely. Adrian, do you know how to chuck an oyster? Chuck an oyster. Shuck.
Yes.
Or chuck.
Shuck.
When you can't shuck it, do you just chuck it?
I do. I would spend summers in Baja with my uncles and cousins, and we would rough it. Like there's nothing but palapa, and you're bringing pots and pans. So we would have to go and like snorkel, and we'd see scallops and oysters, and we'd dive down, get them ourselves, earn time for like the jet ski and stuff like that. And you just learn how to shuck them. You know, you stab yourself once, and that's all it takes. You know, you learn how to do it after that.
I think, Erica, that's like a specific aspect from the book that they pulled from about like you have to learn how to shuck an oyster. Like that's the first thing.
He talks about it, and
he's talked about it.
Yeah, he talks about it frequently.
Yeah. I thought, just to double click on Antonio Banderas, he essentially.
Hold on a second. Do you know how to shuck an oyster?
I never tried. I don't like oysters. I'm not. I think I mentioned on the pod before. I didn't eat oysters. I went through a phase where I did.
That's
but
right.
I ate too many. in Toronto, and I got sick. And since then, I'm like, nah,
You ate them during a month that doesn't end in one.
that doesn't have that with an R. Right, right. As you learned
Is
in
that
our
what it
Alice
is?
in Wonderland episode, tune into that anniversary, 75th anniversary. I don't. Do you, Erica? You do. Yeah, you said that very confidently. She's
Yeah.
nodding her head yes very confidently for
Sorry.
folks
Yeah,
just
I
listening.
have. We used to
That's
have them for
race.
Christmas parties up in Humboldt, so
Oh, really? Yeah.
it was a treat for sure because
That'd be
they're
a nice
fresh
event. We
off
could
the
all
bay,
race and
kind
see
of.
who wins.
Like how many you can shuck in like 2
Yeah.
minutes or something?
Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
fast, but I know how to do it.
Sure. I really liked Antonio Banderas' character. But to your point, Adrian, that this guy that's an asshole is essentially getting into fights and, not really a pleasant person to be around. He's like, you know what? I got a job for you. Here's a job, you know? And then he continues to not necessarily be a good person throughout. He gives him a place to live. Like you can sleep on my hammock, wakes him up with a pot of water every morning. Um, and I just didn't feel like anything outside of like us knowing that it's quote unquote Anthony Bourdain that made me intrigued into him. But Antonio Banderas' character was like filled with mystery, and he's such a good actor. He has that charisma that
Yeah.
Anthony should have. That I was more interested in him and what he was doing, and uh, like he talks about how he started his restaurant, but I'd like to see that. I'd love to see where he came from. So, um,
I feel like
but
it was a lot more like Michael in the sense that like people just wanted more. Like you gave us this little snapshot and his life was
mm,
so much,
mm,
like there's so much after this that how do you not include any of that? Like the Michael biopic, like there's so much after that. Like I know they're saying like, oh, there's a part two and we couldn't do it because of NDAs and when they expire and blah blah blah, but there's just so much more that you're like upset that you didn't give me what the real story is, right? Like I want the
mm.
whole story. Don't give me this little snippet where it just makes him look like crap. Give me the whole
Dirty
thing, right?
Diana.
Erica still wants her Dirty
I
Diana
still want Dirty
details.
Diana.
And we don't get anything redeemable about Tony, really. Like, even when he kind of redeems himself, he then
He's been
goes and
trying to.
but then he then like doubles down. Is like, yeah, let's go into this guy that gave me the chef, Antonio Banderas' character. Let's go into his
Break into his
place,
house
break into his house, steal his fucking
and
money,
savings,
his
piggy
savings.
bank.
Like, what? What? I don't like Erica. You really got to report back on the book because
Yeah.
And then they do
Well,
the
that's
clam
what
bake and say it's only like to honor him. And then when he shows up, he's still gonna take the money until he shows up himself. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
come on.
that's why I'm firmly behind the idea of like some of the stories that they picked from the book should have been stuff that was told by Anthony about his own life, not by a movie.
Right. Yeah, so those kind of things really rubbed me the wrong way, and there was nothing redeemable about him. And I think even if you're going to go this route to show like the dark, dirty aspects of someone's life, you have to show why they became who they became, and they don't.
Right.
Like,
You
Yeah.
there's
can't
no
roast somebody and not say like, "Hey, man, I really love you. I really appreciate you." But I'm gonna go proceed with talking all this junk. Like, you gotta kind of set the tone. Like, hey, this is all love, right? Like, you're a good person. Everything I'm saying is, yeah, things you may have messed up on, but we're gonna take light of it and be funny, right?
Yeah,
Like, this didn't have that at all. Like,
yeah,
it's
no.
just
That charisma, they're really
bashing him essentially. Like, I don't know anything about him, and I'm like, I have no desire to watch any of those shows because all
oh,
I
That's a
saw
and
was
shame.
a 19-year-old
And
him
that's a
yeah,
being
and like
shame.
a
what
dirtbag.
a shame. Yeah, because if you're not the only person that's feeling like it does a disservice to those because they're great.
Because I think the thing here is like it being like you're saying he's a dirtbag, he's this and that. Once you know, like once you see what he's done through his show and what like he's a humanitarian, like, and you don't get and he's so selfish in this movie, which I can understand. I was young and I was selfish, whatever. But in a movie like this, you have to turn the character arc in a way that like shows him going in a direction of who he would become. and we don't get
Right.
that.
There's no scale, right? Like the scale was evil and goodness, right? And he's like this, and nothing ever sways it back to think like, hey, there's a
It's
redeeming
so
quality.
crazy too, Adrian, because I think that you would really like his show. I think that you would really enjoy it. I think you'd be really interested in it.
Well,
Probably,
Erica,
I'm all about different cultures and trying new foods, and I'd probably dig it because I am.
listen,
that.
you're not like Chad. You like international films.
Yes, and international food.
I can't believe I'm the one saying this, but we gotta lay off Chad when he's not here. He
It
cannot
doesn't always
defend
have to be
himself.
kosher. I'm
I
down
know
to
he's
try
my
it.
arch nemesis, but we have to be somewhat gentle about that.
Let's go into double features.
For a double feature.
Double feature.
Double feature.
Double. Toilet trouble.
Double of everything.
Maybe I better go back and see another double feature.
Erica, since you want to play Peacemaker, kick us off. What would you
can't
recommend?
do that until he has the same traumas as we do.
That's right. That's right. It's all part of the bit. We love you, Chad. It's all part of the bit. Erica, what would you recommend to go with Tony?
Yeah, for the climate, I would like for people to go watch No Reservations. I believe it's season 2, episode 1. It's based in Jerusalem. I think it's really important for us to understand the resilience of the Gazan people, of the years and years that they've been going through this genocide. It makes you cry. I think about maybe halfway, I'm about like really teary-eyed. Very beautiful. It's one of my favorites of his to watch because I think it really down to the core shows how human he was to do those kinds of things.
Yeah. And I think what's great about him and his show is there's time, he's just so open and vulnerable to his experience, and that maybe he doesn't have any preconceived notions toward a people, toward a country, toward their cuisine. But as that evolves in the episode, you go along with that ride on, oh, the media says X, Y, and Z, but being here, this is how it is. And I think that episode does a fantastic job of that. Yeah. I'm being much more broad sorry, it's not my turn. Adrian.
Go ahead. I can go last. No big deal.
All right, we'll mix it up just because mine's in line with Erica's. I'm saying just start watching No Reservations from the beginning. Go through that, get the parts unknown, go through that, because watching this film, if anything positive, it made me go back and rewatch No Reservations from the beginning. And I think I've made it through about 8 episodes now. I think the last one I did was Uzbekistan, which is a very hilarious
which is so
episode.
good. That's a good episode.
It's a good. We meet one of his Russian friend that just pops up now and then in some of the episodes, and it's so good. But just really quick, Erica, when you talked about like bringing people together, like when I think of Anthony Bourdain and the settings I've watched it's been with friends and family. And as I'm rewatching this, it's something that you can also show to family, like kids. You know what I mean? He does say some vulgar things. A lot of it will go over their head, right? But he does talk about like getting loaded or drugs or sex. He talks about these things, but it's still in like a classy way. Like it's still
well, and it
I don't know if classy is the right word, but elegant.
Well, it usually pertains to the culture that he's in. So
of course,
he'll talk about. I know he talks about the red light district. I know that there's times where he talks about smoking hashish. Like there's, he brought so much exposure at such a great time for people to absorb.
And it's so absorbable by any age. My girlfriend's kids has been watching along with me, and they're wanting to watch it. Like, oh, let's watch that Anthony Bourdain guy. Like, let's watch that show. And it's like, because they're getting introduced to a world much larger than their own.
Please tell me that they know he's no longer with us.
They do. And they're very curious kids. They're like,
because I just saw a woman.
Yeah, I looked it up too.
I just saw a woman showing her daughter Selena for the first time. And like halfway through the movie, she was like, so like, what is she doing nowadays? And it was just like, oh.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings about people getting reactions from kids and like these traumatizing movies. It's like, oh, but we did Homeward Bound. They didn't find that traumatizing at all, so it's fine. These kids are built different. This generation's out of control, but they do enjoy No Reservations, and I think it's a testament that food brings people together and Tony's shows bring people together. So go watch those. Adrian, what would you recommend?
I would recommend a movie called Chef. It was from 2014, directed by John Favreau. Our boy John Leguizamo's in it. How do you say it? I always say Favreau.
Favreau.
I just like
Favreau.
saying Favre. Yeah.
Favreau. But it's essentially a chef getting fired and then starting his own like food truck and kind of downsizing, kind of the opposite of what this movie is, where he's narcissistic and a bad guy. It's really like a fun story of like, a father rekindling a relationship with his son and maybe his ex-wife while being humbled and having to do, a back step. So it was very interesting. Like a family kind of feel good story, similar to what I think this sounds like Anthony Bourdain would be, like, yes, there are mistakes and stuff and we all grow from them. So it could have been a redeeming story and a redeeming factor that they just needed, 4 hours for instead of just the two.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would go Chef. It fits in. And I think that's kind of where this kind of should have gone, a little, maybe a part of like the trauma or the negative side of it, the things that he had to overcome, and then more of like the heartfelt, like, hey, the person, the humanitarian, the stuff that he did, because that would probably attract me to be, hey, I want to go watch his shows.
Yeah.
Just hearing you guys talking about it, like, yeah, I probably would be interested in No Reservation. Like, I love going when I travel with my wife, like, I want to go see the culture. I want to see the life,
Yeah.
like you guys can stay on the resort, but this resort isn't, what the life is, like you're not getting all of it. I want to go out there. I want to taste their food. I want to talk with them. I want to, I want to be with the people, not,
You gotta watch.
an extension of
We
US.
we we often give homework on this show and then never follow up on it. But Adrian, for our
You
next
gotta watch
episode,
it.
I want to hear what I've seen this week. Is No Reservations. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as a follow up to this.
Maybe it's something I could introduce to the whole family,
Please do. I think they dig it. Especially, I mean, coincidentally, I think your son Anthony
Yeah.
would really like it. I think he'd really like it. Let's drop some stock. So everyone's available here. We haven't drafted anyone from this first. I think one's gonna fall out. It's coming out of the hat. There it is. Okay.
It's Erica's.
And it is going first. Folks, it's Michael.
Oh, I thought you said it is Erica's.
Let's see if I can make another one fall out. No, next. And it is Erica. Sorry, H. I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's coming out of the hat now. There's no algorithm.
Fine, second.
You're third, sir. Sorry. Erica was second. Yeah. But listen, next time. Better luck next time. I'm just gonna get right to it. I'm gonna go Dominic Sessa. He's an incredible actor. I really loved him in his breakout role, The Holdovers. I actually got to get the composer's signature on the vinyl back here, as you may see.
Nice.
And
That's
I thought
where I recognized him from.
yeah, he was in The Holdovers.
You liked Holdovers, and I was like, this movie's driving me nuts. Like, it was just so boring and slow. Like, I was like, where's the action at? Like,
Where's the
the
machine
whole
gun?
movie? It didn't dawn on me like the Holdovers and what that meant. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is it. Just him spending vacation here.
It was great. I loved it. I loved it when it came out. It became an instant holiday classic. And Dominic Sessa was a big part of that movie coming out. And again, it's no fault of him. He worked with what he was given. He didn't try to mimic Anthony Bourdain. He didn't try to do an impersonation. Again, this didn't have to be, I don't know how many times you have to say it. This didn't have to be about Anthony Bourdain. So it's no fault to him. I really like him as an actor. He's young. He's going to have a lot of opportunity. Excited to have him on the team. Erica, who are you taking?
I'm so excited. I'm taking Stavros. I love him so much. No, really, like I enjoy him so much. I think he's really funny. He's got a couple movies coming out in the coming years that he's going to be a part of. I think he's going to be somebody that sneaks up on us in the acting world. I think that he's very talented. And so I just hope that he gets to work with people who really know how to bring that out of him, because I really enjoy him.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a movie we covered. He was in Begonia, if you recall. Really weird, like, character because it was unnecessary to the story. I think that was
But he
part of our
nailed
feedback. But he did well. He did
Yeah.
well. Yeah. Okay, well, great pick. Adrian, the floor is yours. And look, you got who you wanted. You got who you wanted. Go ahead.
I did. I got Antonio Banderas.
That's why you go last. You get who you want.
I always end up off where you guys go anyways, so it doesn't matter that I go last.
Right.
But yeah, he's a great actor. He's already got, a huge resume, and he's not gonna stop. To be honest, I think what drives me crazy is he was in what were those Shark Boy and Lava Girl, or was it
Sure.
Spy Kids? He was in the Spy Kids franchise, right?
Sir, I know you're not going to disrespect Spy Kids.
My son got on me the other day. I think I said the same thing, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and he was on it like, no, that's Spy Kids. Oh, sorry, okay, sorry. But I think those were all right. They're kind of like timely, but I was already an adult when those came out, and I was not about it.
Yeah. Well, listen, the Mask of Zorro, he's incredible in. He plays a small role in Frida, and obviously, I think all of us got introduced to him with Desperado. And has it been okay, Erica? I'll ask you this question: has there been a hotter couple on screen than Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek? I mean, goddamn.
Oh, that
he was in Original Sin with Angelina
that's
Jolie.
Really, you know what? Duo. Ooh.
I think that's the winner.
I think the only reason is because I'm watching it right now. So like Keanu and Neo and Trinity are hot.
Oh, okay. They're a different hot. I see that. Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like that would be like this almost the same level. But no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Miss Congeniality, Sandra Bullock, and
Benjamin
Pratt. They're hot. But
I mean,
still though, timeline wise, like they were probably like the first to be that hot together.
Yeah. Like we can do this on screen?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Like, oh my god, wait, we could have two hot Latin people in here?
So that is our episode on Tony. Thank you guys for listening, watching. Make sure to follow us on all of our socials, Seeing This Pod. Go to seeingthispod.com. You can also subscribe to our newsletters at seeingthispod.com/subscribe. As I mentioned, we had some great episodes and interviews that just passed, and next coming up is Dana Nachman and Freddie Knowles in The Second Life of Freddie Knowles. Great conversation coming on Friday. Tune into that, and then next week we will get real loony with it with Coyote versus Acme. And until then, stay safe. Do you guys hear that, or is that just my earpiece?
No, that's something going on.
I think it's my air condition. Do you think it'll?
It should cut it out.
Okay.
It should cut it out.
Because the air just turned on, so.
I don't know if it'll cut out Mikey's like enunciation of things going on. I've caught like 3 or 4.
Hey, that's part of the bingo squares, asshole. All right, and
you said I'm Mikey the movie.
First of all, that's not it at all, and I never say Mikey. You don't know what I'm saying. Anyways,
I'm Mike Ornelas the movie is what you said. You didn't say movie Mamba. No, not at all.
Well, listen, I gotta help people get their bingo squares, okay? Anyways,
animation. You like animation? I was like, what? And what? It's okay.
I'm dead.
One of these days we're gonna have a sliding door, and you're gonna host the show, and you're gonna do all the intros, and let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
I know
So,
I'd be good at it.
hey, let's have it. Next episode, everyone. Erica is hosting the show.
Mike
Yeah,
is
but I think
normally
what I'm
on
gonna
point.
do instead is I'll be like, I'm the movie Mamba, and then you do, and then I'll introduce you as me, and then I'll do everybody as different. That'd be funny.
So, what have we seen this week?